Hi friends, Naji here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We are starting a new playlist with respect to PyTorch, and in this video we'll be discussing on basic to advanced topic in PyTorch, and which include transfer learning and object classification, detection, also segmentation too. So this is a video, it's an introductory video in which we can talk about the history of the PyTorch and why we need the PyTorch. So what is PyTorch? It's an open source machine learning framework which is actually developed by Meta's AI Research Lab, the earlier known as Facebook AI Research Lab, it is built on Python and is provide tensor computation with GPU acceleration and offers automatic differentiation, and it's a features dynamic computation graph for flexible model building. And why we need to use the PyTorch? So for a Python programmers, which is very easy to adapt PyTorch because it is more Pythonic and intuitive. It's provide dynamic computation and it's a research friendly program because we can easily develop POCs using the PyTorch. That is why the research community is adapting it very fast. It's a production ready and it has a very strong community. So when we talk about the story of a PyTorch, it is actually started as a torch in 2002 by the Ronan Colabert. I think I pronounced it correct. Then later 2016 it is adopted by the Facebook AI research. Then they have announced the PyTorch on 2016. 2018 the PyTorch 1.0 is released, and 2019 we can say it is become the one of the fastest growing deep learning framework. 2022 the PyTorch 2.0 is released, and now it is one of the leading framework for AI research and the industry. And when we compare it with other framework, there are like few advantages with respect to PyTorch, right? When we use the PyTorch, we will get some advantages. The one is if we compare with the TensorFlow, as I said, the PyTorch is more Pythonic and it is easy to debug and it's a dynamic graph. So TensorFlow latest version, I believe it is a dynamic, but in the older version it is a static graphs are used. And when we compared with the Ajax, like we can say that it's a larger community and it has a lot of documentations available for the PyTorch. And these are the few companies that are using PyTorch in their different areas. One is Meta, Tesla, OpenAI, Microsoft, Uber, and Nvidia. Okay, these are the few companies that are using the PyTorch, and there are a lot more is there. Like Hugging Face is also using this. So a lot of companies are using the PyTorch, but this is the top few companies. Okay, so that is all about the introduction about PyTorch, and if you talk about the installation of PyTorch, so in this playlist I'll be using two ways of installations. Like one we'll be using the collab, and other sometimes I'll be using the local also. So when we talk about the local installations, which is very simple, what we can do, you guys can just go to the PyTorch, just click on the PyTorch home, and when we come to the learn, we will have a get started. Okay, so here they are talking about how can we start locally. So if we come here, we can see that most of the time by default it will automatically identify the OS and details. So if you want to change anything, you can change that. So in my case, I am using the Mac, so it is automatically detected the Mac, and I will be using the pip Python, and I don't have any CUDA is available, so it is going to the default CUDA. So by selecting this, we can see that we will get a run command here. So if I select this, it will, okay, since it is not there, it is not mentioning that. Okay, so if I am instead of Python I am using C++, I am getting a different command to execute. Okay, since I am using Python, I can use this particular command. So we can just copy this and we can go to our console. Okay, so let me do an exit here. I can do a clear. So here I have created a environment, a conda environment is created. I believe I am using the Python 3.12 version, but PyTorch is support like 3.10 and above. Okay, so once that is created, what we can do, we can just execute this pip install torch, the command that you have got from that website. You can just execute it. So I already have executed, so I'm not going to do it again. So once that is done, to verify it is properly installed, what I can do, I can just do import torch. Okay, then I can print its version. Okay, so let me print torch dot version. So this is the torch version available in my in this particular environment. Okay, so I think the local installation is successful and it is giving me the result. Okay, now we can talk about how we can do that in our Colab. Okay, so Colab is provided by or supported by the Google. Okay, so they are actually provided some let me go and search for Colab. Okay, so if you look for the Colab, you guys can see some notebook. Okay, so this is under the hood, this is managed by Google. I mean the servers are managed by the Google. So if you click on the connect, we are actually connecting to their GPU machine. Okay, so let's connect it. So for free users, they are providing some hours of free credit, but they are not specifically said how many hours or how many credit, maybe 10 to 12 hours they are giving. So if you click on, once it is connected, like just click on this, we can see the system that has the system RAM and the disk space can be seen here. And if you just click on this menu and if you click on change runtime, you guys can see the runtimes that we are using. So currently I'm using the Python, and I believe now they are supporting the Julia and R, but we are using the Python here. And by default they are connecting to CPU, and you guys can connect it to GPU if needed. Okay, so once we connect it to GPU, it will delete the existing environment, then we have to restart everything again, but I'm going to keep CPU itself. And they are actually providing a 1 TPU V5E -1 TPUs also they are providing, but rest of the CPUs we only get if you pay for it. Okay, so I think they are providing some $10 around for a month or something like that. They are crediting from that is a charge that they are using for this many for these what we call the machines. Okay, so here we have the CPU. So one thing you have to ensure that if you are not using GPU, okay, so, then ensure that you connect it to the CPU. Otherwise, like this credit will be burned out and we will not able to use the GPU when it is actually needed. Okay, so that's why I'm going to connect with the CPU. Okay, so once that is connected, so let me close this. Once that is connected, we don't need to do any installation. So I just can do, I just can execute import torch, can be executed here. Okay, so it's in progress, so it's connected. Now I can I can just try to see the version of torch. I can type torch and hyphen version can be used. Let's execute it. So here we can see this is the 2.8.0 plus U126, the current version of the torch that we are using. Okay, so Colab is very cool. Only thing is that sometimes if you train it for the long hours, this will disconnect. Okay, then we have to reconnect it again, then we have to rerun the training and everything again and again. Okay, so that can be solved by upgrading our free account to some pro account, but still after some hours of execution the disconnect will happen. But the time at what time it will disconnect, that we don't know. So they are doing some algorithm to disconnect that. Okay, so that is all about in this video. I believe everybody understood the basics of the history of the story of PyTorch and the installation of the PyTorch. So in our coming videos we can discuss more about this. So please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.